Hi there, this is Karen from Soul Shimmer Designs, and my project for today are these 4 acrylic baby milestone signs. They're made with Teckwrap Vinyl, and I used 4 acrylic hexagon shapes, and these you can also get on the Teckwrap website. These were the colours that I used for the signs. There's glossy ultramarine, yellow passion, glossy turquoise, glossy powder blue, and the glossy silver. So I set up the designs in Silhouette Studio, and I have the 4. One is for a birthday sign, one is for the first Easter, one is for the first Father's Day, and also Mother's Day. And what I normally do is print out a copy of my designs and just mark down each colour that I would be using for each acrylic blank. I do this as there were quite a few colours, and I just thought it might be a bit confusing with all the different colours, and it just makes it a bit easier to follow each one as you're going along. So I've printed out all my vinyl sections that I need for each different acrylic blank, and now I'm just weeding them all, starting off with the Mother's Day, using that gorgeous glossy turquoise and the yellow passion for some flowers and a little bit of extra colour touch there. And now I'm just transferring my turquoise onto the acrylic blank. And the other reason I also print out my design is so that it helps me with placement of each of the layers. Rather than doing the parchment paper layer trick, I can just use my background as kind of the parchment paper, I guess. And on the back of each one I have added a silver background just to make sure that all the other front vinyls don't get lost. And what happened here is when I applied my transfer paper, it had bubbles in it, and so I'm just going to have to make sure next time I don't have bubbles in my silver backing when I do the next one. It's easy if you do have bubbles, you can use your weeding pen just to put a small hole in there, and then use your squidgy to scrape out all the bubbles. So it's easy to fix, but it's better if you can have a bubble-free application in the first place. So now I'm on to the Father's Day acrylic, and I've used the ultramarine, that's the glossy ultramarine. I'm adding on the silver background now and just making sure there are no bubbles in the transfer paper like there was on the first one. So we're now on to the first Easter acrylic blank, and this one's a bit tricky. I've also added in the mirror chrome vinyl here to use for the name and the Easter bunny ears, and also one of the Easter eggs. And this one's a little bit more tricky, has a bit more layering in there, so this is where the printed out sheet comes in super handy. You can really make sure that you line everything up really well, and you're not going to make any mistakes with adding on a wrong letter or having it too far apart, especially with those Easter eggs at the bottom there. So I'm now adding on the glossy turquoise. Then the R is the powder blue, and coming up next is the S in the ultramarine, and I found my tweezers easier to use to apply this one. Then for the A, that's in the yellow passion, and now I'm ready to take off the backing sheet and to add on the silver background for this one as well, and again making sure there's no bubbles in the background, using my squidgy, and it comes up really well. So we're on to the last acrylic blank now, and for the name and birthday words, I have used the Mirachrome dark brown. Then I have a layer with the glossy turquoise, a very small layer of the yellow passion, and a blue, the ultramarine, also for the balloons and some stars. So this again was quite tricky with each of the balloons and the stars. But my backing sheet saves the day. And I'm just going through, so there's the Mirachrome added on now. Then the turquoise, the yellow ST, so for the first. Then I put one of the balloons on with the ultramarine using my weeding pen, and it was just easier to apply some of those smaller pieces with my weeding pen. And this one also has the silver background, and this is how they're looking, the finished product. They've come up really well, especially with that silver background there. You can tell all the colours have picked up really nicely. And for each acrylic blank, I wanted to make sure that they didn't get scratched or anything, so I made these little pockets out of some cardstock that I had. So I had 4 different types of cardstock. Got the design from Creative Fabrica, so I can link that in the tutorial. Then just glued the sides, and each one had its own little pocket. Then I got some of the glossy silver and just labelled each one, so it was easy to know which acrylic could go into which pocket. And I'm just weeding here using my weeding pen, and now with the transfer tape and the squidgy, and I just applied each of those onto each pocket. So here are the finished 4 acrylics now. The first 2, the Easter and birthday, and the Father's Day and Mother's Day, and they'll be sent off with the nightlight that I made in another tutorial. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any questions, let me know. Plus, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.